Hi, it's Sean, the Fluency Awesomizer. This is Decoding Multi-Syllabic Words, episode 87. I've got 5 words I'm going to take a close look at today. Let's get started. I want you to read these words right out loud. What's this first word? How about this one? The third word. And 2 more. And all right, were any of those tricky to read? I want you to keep watching. If so, I'm going to review those words, show you some strategies you might want to think about and use. If you ever get stuck on those or words that are similar to them when you're reading independently. First, a reminder of the fable of the tortoise and the hare, and the moral: slow and steady wins the race, which is great advice when you do get stuck on a big unfamiliar word. Think of those words as races. There is a finish line. And if you read like the hare, you might want to get to that finish line first, and you'll race through a word like this. Mistakes can happen that way, but if you read like the tortoise, take it slow and steady. That patience is definitely going to improve your ability to decode those big unfamiliar words. Keep it in mind. Let's practice. All right, the first word I showed you here starts with the syllable speck. It looks like speck. The next syllable, that C is followed by an I. That C is going to be a soft C. It's going to make an S sound, sif. And there's fic. So that's specific. Yeah, this is the word specifically. And it's an adverb. The root word is specific, which is an adjective. And that word goes, the origin of that word is back in Latin. The word species. See the S-P-E-C-I? Yeah, species meaning one kind or sort. We're most familiar with that word for talking about animals. There's another Latin word, specificus, means a kind or sort as well. Specificus, like makes me think Swedish fish. The red ones are a kind of Swedish fish. And that's where we get the word specific in English. The red ones are a specific Swedish fish. Now it sounds like you just add an ly to specific to get specifically. That's how we pronounce it. But it's not just an ly. There's another suffix in English, ally, that gets added to any word that ends with IC. So it's like a kind of an obscure rule about suffixes, but you need to remember that there is an A in specifically. Specifically, 5 syllables. Next word I showed you, that's a sight word you should recognize, right? This is the tricky part. That's C-I-A-L, we're looking at in a minute. This is the word specially. It's an adverb, root word special, which is an adjective. And that goes back to Latin too. The origin of that word is species as well, one kind or sort, like an animal. There's another Latin word, specialis, meaning an individual. And that's C-I-A-L, especially, I just used especially. That Latin C-I-A-L carried over to English. We kept that root, but it's not pronounced the way it looks. We pronounce it special or special, depending on how you pronounce it. We all know what it means. It's an adjective, and you just add an ly to get the adverb, specially. This word is especially. It's also an adverb, and it comes from that Latin word specialis as well, meaning an individual. But it became an old French word. That's in French added an E way back a long time ago, and that means important in Old French. Especial, we carried over to English. We don't use the word especial really, but we definitely use especially. So adding that ly to make the adverb especially, which means used. That word's used to single out one, like the red ones. I like Swedish fish, but especially the red ones, singled out that one red kind, especially. All right, the 4th word I show you, really big word. I'm going to start at the finish line. Sometimes that's a good idea when you're stuck on a word, because the tricky part might be at the end. And there's T-I-O-N. Do you recognize it? There's the syllable spect, spection. Back in the beginning, intro. This is introspection. Really big word. It's a noun. The root word is introspect, and that goes back to Latin as well. Introspectus is a Latin word. It's actually a compound word. Intro meaning inward, and spectus meaning look or observe. So the introspect part of Latin, or introspectus, means to look inward in Latin, and introspect carried over to English. And it's still the compound word. Spect is the Latin root to look, and intro meaning inward, introspect. It's a verb. And add ION to introspect to get the noun introspection. And the TION, you just need to know it when you see it, especially when you have to spell it. It's a Latin root carried over to English. Looks like it should be pronounced tion, really, but it's pronounced shun or shin, which makes it really tricky to spell. Introspection, not to be confused with this word. There's shun at the end, at the finish line. There's spect, inspect, inspection. That's a noun as well. The root word is the verb inspect. That goes back to Latin. Inspectus in Latin. The spectus root, meaning, of course, look or observe. We talked about that. And in means in or into. So inspectus, the inspect part, or that word in Latin means examine. And inspect, we kept that part in English, inspect. There's the Latin root spect, meaning to look. Add ION to inspect, you get the noun inspection. Just a reminder, TION is not pronounced the way it looks. It's a Latin root carried over to English, but we pronounce it different than it looks. Shun or shin, inspection. All right, that's it for today. Subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Facebook for more decoding videos like this one. Tell a friend or a family member or a teacher about me. At my Facebook page, there is a photo album full of reading challenges I've written to help you continue practicing decoding those big words and to awesomize your fluency too. So hope you found the video helpful. Come back and see me soon. Bye.